People were forced to leave with just moments.
We have record-breaking wildfires. State of emergency has been declared. Washington and Oregon. Tonasket, the Sinlahekin fire, 47,000 acres, 0% contained, level 3 evacuations west of the Okanogan River to Eneas Mountain, including Ellis Ford, Pine Creek, and Palmer Mountain. Lake Chelan, beautiful tourist destination in Washington. The Little Giant Fire sounds nice, but it's about 40,000 acres right now, 0 contained, level 3 on South Lakeshore Road from Pyramid Creek to 25 Mile Creek, level 2 and level 1 below that. Spokane, Old Trails Fire, 3,700 acres. Autumn Lake Fire, 3,400 acres. Fairview Fire, roughly 1,100 acres. All 3 at 0% contained. Fire activity has moderated. Gusty winds are still a concern. Oregon, 60 large fires, 60 fires, roughly 2 million acres, more than 25,000 people under some form of evacuation order. In Spokane, it was over 60,000 people, but that's the second largest city in Washington. In Oregon, we're dealing with ranch lands more than there. That's the picture. Now, here's what has changed overnight. And this is the Chelan fire, actually, that you need to watch. But let's talk about Spokane. Let's start with Spokane, because that's the one that most of you are here for. The 3 fires are now managed as one incident. The Spokane area fires. Fairview near Mead has had its forward progression stop. That doesn't mean it's out. It means it isn't running anymore. The old trails grew slightly overnight to 3,620 acres. Autumn Lane is 3,347, is now nearly the size of the fire that started all this. Containment across all 3, still zero. And I wanted to be honest about what that number actually means, because this gets misread constantly. So 0% containment does not mean nothing is working. So it means crews have not yet completed a control line that they're confident that will hold. And unfortunately, sometimes these fires break the control lines. A fire can stop moving, but still sit at 0% contained for several days. So evacuation orders and warnings remain in effect around the Spokane area and Mead. The structure loss count from Saturday night hasn't been revised yet. When it is, it will go up, not down. We're roughly at 650 structures. We have damage assessment teams that work neighborhood by neighborhood, and they're not finished yet, as you can imagine, because the images there are just horrible. But now let's get to the fire that should be getting far more attention than it is actually getting. I have been there just recently, and it blows my mind that this is such tragedy that is unfolding there. The Sinlahekin fire, I hope I pronounced that right, started on July 26th. Lightning caused it in the Loomis State Forest that's north of Tonasket. It's not far away from the Canadian border. So on July 31st, it was estimated at 30,200 acres. As of yesterday, 74,000 acres. So it more than doubled in just 2 days. It spread towards Palmer Mountain, Rattlesnake Peak, South Pine Creek, and areas west of the Okanogan River. So level 3 evacuation expanded to cover Tonasket, Ellis Ford, and the north and south Pine Creek areas, the Lime Belt, and Palmer Mountain, everything west of the Okanogan River and the to Eneas Mountain. Power has been knocked out from Tonasket all the way up to the Canadian border. Containment 0%. We're 10 days in with this fire. And here's, I think, why that one doesn't land in the news. Okanogan County has about 42,000 people across a larger area than Connecticut. So Spokane, of course, has 230,000 in one place, second largest city of Washington. A fire 7 times bigger in a country that empty produces a fraction of the footage, and unfortunately, the coverage follows the footage. You know what I mean? The more spectacular the footage, the more it is in the news. But the people in those Tonasket area level 3 evacuation zone, they're just as evacuated as the ones in Spokane. Same tragedies unfolding there. But
oh my God.
What comes now? This is the development that I flagged at the top. Lake Chelan, the one that changed overnight. I've just been there last year. Boy, is this gorgeous. The Little Giant Fire. For some reason, it burns on the same side where it burned last year. It was started by lightning strike on July 15th. I saw the last year's fire. I saw it start by lightning and I watched it. I was there for about a week while that fire was burning. Then I decided to leave because it got really bad. It's been burning right now in remote country north of Lake Wenatchee, the Entiat River, the Chihuahua, the edge of Glacier Peak Wilderness. So on Saturday, don't think this is harmless. On Saturday, because I'm getting to where it is now. On Saturday, it was about 31,500 acres. It's now around 38,530 acres. Zero contained. But here with this one, the acreage is not the story, guys. Listen to this. On Saturday, it was driven by high winds. The fire has reached Lake Chelan. And then it has thrown spot fires across the water, across the lake. A fire behavior analyst put the spot fires at more than 30 acres combined. Lake Chelan is over a mile wide in some places. And so the fire was throwing embers across the lake. Embers were carried on by wind, landing on the far other shore long before any flame gets there. Yes, a body of water is a fire break for a flame front. It's not a fire break for an ember. This is what is happening in Canada as well, in Vernon right now, the fire that is burning to the shores. So that has prompted new orders on Sunday. Level 3 on South Lakeshore Road from Pyramid Creek to 25 Mile Creek. Level 2 from Fields Point to 25 Mile Creek State Park, including Shady Pass and Robinson Lane and the park itself. Level 1 from Fields Point to State Route 971. That includes also every campground in those zones, guys, if you're out camping there. In the first week of August, on one of the busiest lakes in the state. It's beautiful there. It's gorgeous, clean water. I love that lake. There are now notices on both sides, the South Shore and the Manson side. Lots of structures in Manson and growing. So the rest of Washington, what's going on in Washington? Quickly, the rest of the state, because there are large and mostly unmentioned fires. The Modrite Fire, Ferry and Stevens counties near in Chelan, west of Lake Roosevelt. 50,000 acres, 17% contained. I don't know if I can pronounce that. The Ptarmigan Fire, Pasaitan Wilderness north of the Metho, 14,047 acres, zero contained. Braden Hill, southwest of Colville, 4,300 acres, 7% contained. Air quality alerts are up for Asotin, Chelan, Douglas Ferry, Okanogan, Pandoray, and Stevens counties until further notice. Statewide, Governor Ferguson's wildfire emergency and burn ban remains in effect. These fires seem to be record-breaking in these states. But let's get to Oregon quickly. South. Let's go south, because Oregon is having a worse season than Washington, if you can even believe this. And it's getting less national coverage than Washington either. So as of this morning, we have 60 large fires, somewhere around 2 million acres that have burned. To put that in perspective, that's for the ones that are in Canada, That's roughly a quarter the size of Vancouver Island in one state, in one fire season. And this is only the first week of August. Oregon's single season record was set not long ago in 2024. But the state is now within striking distance of breaking it. We have weeks of active fire weather still ahead. It's not over. And where is it burning? The Roe Creek complex that is southwest of Fossil in Wheeler County, about a mile from John Day Fossil Beds National Monument. Maybe you know that. 314,000 acres, 55% contained. It's 4 fires that physically merged there. Then we have the Hay Creek complex in Gilliam County, over 200,000 acres, but 98% contained. Bench Fire southwest of Warm Springs, almost 68,000 acres, 52% contained, threatening the Warm Springs Reservation, unfortunately. Akawa, Butte in Deschutes and Jefferson counties, Butte or Butte, I don't know. Choose either one, okay? I always want to say Buddy, but it's probably Butte. 28,000 acres, 85% contained. The Henry Fire, 30,000 acres, 75% contained. Most of these fires were sparked by lightning between July 15th and 18th. This was one storm system 3 weeks ago, and we're still dealing with this. So what's next? What is important for the next 48 hours? One important thing, wind. Fire activity has moderated right now, but gusty winds remain a concern. Every fire in this update that I just gave you is in an area where the wind decides the day. So if you're in a level 3 zone, if you're in a level 2, be packed and be in the car. I'll definitely give an update when these numbers move. So I hope you found that interesting, guys, and check out this video. This is absolutely crazy. You have to see this. I'll see you in a second, hopefully. Bye-bye.